Bro, where are we at?
We're at the Hidden household.
That's right. We are at the Hidden household
yes.
in our kitchen.
Kitchen table right here. Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
And why, you might be asking, am I wearing this really baggy sweater? It's because it's snowing outside and it's absolutely freezing.
Doesn't make any
And
sense.
so that is why. But more importantly, this is talking about Jesus with James Bond and Michael. And so, James, I wanted to turn it over to you. Why are we making this video?
Yeah. So there's 3 reasons. The first reason is because we love Jesus.
We do.
We
We
love
love Jesus a lot.
2, because we love our youth group students. So shout out to all you
Shout out to you,
love
youth
guys.
group students.
But number 3,
Number 3.
because we want to help you grow in your relationship with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really hoping that these videos can do that.
Yeah, and when it comes to Christianity, a lot of times we are afraid to ask questions
Yeah.
or express the doubts that we have. But really, we just want this to be a place where we can invite your questions and we can just wrestle through them, see what Scripture says about them, and then see how God's Spirit is leading each of us to understand these questions. So we want you to grow. And we're going to grow through it too, so it's going to be fun for us.
Yeah. So we want to let you know that at the bottom of this video, there's a comment section. And if you have any other questions that you would like to ask, that's the place to do it. And or you have our email address, our phone numbers, text us, email us, give us those questions so that we can keep doing these videos. So.
Yep. And the first question that we got, we wanted to start off with a pretty
Lighter.
easy one,
Yeah.
is what is your favorite Bible story? So James, what is your favorite Bible story?
My favorite Bible story comes from Mark chapter 5. It's
a good one.
Yeah, Gerasene demoniac. So this story to me is just crazy. It's kind of a wild story. So it starts off with this man who's in a graveyard. And he has been chained hand and foot, but he is so strong. He's like the Hulk sometimes. He just breaks from these chains.
How can he do that?
Because he's, so it's just like, he just breaks away from the chains, and then it even says later on in the text that he's cutting himself. So he's just, it's kind of a nasty scene.
A dark scene.
Yeah, very dark scene of what's going on. But then Jesus comes to the scene, and the man, the Gerasene demoniac, kneels as soon as he sees Jesus, and he just starts pleading with Jesus, send me away, like keep me in this region, but send me to a different place.
Mm-hmm.
And so they actually ask, there's some pigs on a hillside nearby, and the demon-possessed man asks to the demons to be sent into the pigs.
Okay.
And so Jesus lets it happen. Jesus just says,
he sends them out.
Yeah,
right?
Correct. He just lets them go into the pigs. The text says 2,000 pigs.
Wow.
Go.
That's crazy. That's a lot of bacon.
That's a lot of bacon. A lot of good bacon. I love bacon. But so these demons go into these 2,000 pigs, and it says that the pigs run down into, I'm guessing it was the Sea of Galilee, but they run down into this. So like, pigs are dead. Okay, no more piggies. Okay, you don't get your bacon.
So how do the people react when all these pigs are dead?
Very frustrated. Very frustrated.
Okay.
So it says that they even pleaded with Jesus to leave. Like, get out. We don't want you here. Because just think about it. This is their livelihood. So the farmers can't farm. They don't have any pigs left. They can't keep their bacon. So they're very upset.
Okay.
But the thing of these demons leaving the man is that the man is no longer demon possessed. And so the man is restored. It even says in the text that when the people see him, they're afraid. Because they're like, this isn't what he used to look like. This is kind of weird. Yeah.
Huh.
And so after that, the man, Jesus, actually is going to leave the region, and the man comes to Jesus and asks him, can I please go with you? And Jesus says, no, stay here and tell the people of what God has done for you and how he has had mercy on you. And so the people are mad, but the man stays, yeah. And Jesus leaves. And then you turn to Mark chapter 6. Okay.
Very next chapter.
At the very end of Mark chapter 6, Jesus has gone to a couple different places, but then he comes back to where the demon-possessed man lives. Okay, so he's back, and if you remember, like I said in Mark chapter 5, the people were mad. They pleaded with him to leave. But the crazy thing about the story is that when Jesus returns, the people pleaded with Jesus to heal everybody. So it's like they loved Jesus now. And when I think about that story, I just think about the one man. One man. Jesus asked that one man to stay and tell all the people of what God had done for him. And so it just makes me think that this one man changed a whole city just because of what Jesus had done for him. Yeah, it's a great story. I love that story. Great testimony. So, yeah. But yeah, so that I would say is my favorite Bible story. So Michael,
Well,
what is?
Let's remind the people here that, listen, if you have a story about Jesus, if Jesus has changed your life, no matter how he's changed your life, you have an incredible story. If Jesus is a part of your story, you have an incredible story.
Yeah,
so
true.
go share that story with somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Do it.
But my favorite story,
Michael, your favorite Bible story.
My favorite story, and I'm pretty biased because it's the first sermon I ever preached 5 years ago, and it was from John chapter 9. And in John chapter 9, Jesus and his disciples see this blind guy, and the disciples ask Jesus, who sinned, this guy or his parents? Is that why he's blind? And Jesus said, no. Guys, you don't get it. That's not why he's blind. He didn't do anything sinful. This is for God's glory that he is blind. And so Jesus spits in the mud, messes in the mud, and then sticks mud on his eyes and says, go to the pool of Siloam. And so the blind man goes to the pool of Siloam, and he can see again. And the people are so confused. They're like, is this really that blind man? And he's like, yeah, that was me. That was me. Jesus changed me. And the Pharisees, these religious leaders, they hear about what has happened to this blind man, and they start questioning him. Is this really true? Is this really true? They even go to his parents and say, what happened here? And they're like, I don't know, talk to him. He's old enough. Parents were like, ask him. I don't want anything to do with this, because they were afraid, it says in John chapter 9. And so the Pharisees, these religious leaders, they come to this blind man, and they start questioning, who do you think he is? Who do you think he is? He says, well, I think he's a prophet. They say, well, who do you really think he is? Are you one of his followers? And he has this beautiful line where he says, I don't know who he is, but the one thing I do know is that I was blind, and now I can see. Just a beautiful testimony. But the Pharisees get mad, the religious leaders get mad, and they just throw him out of the synagogue. Everything that this blind man has ever known, his family, the synagogue, is ripped away from him. But Jesus goes and seeks him out. He finds him, and he ends up saving him. The blind man told Jesus that he believed in him. And so this blind man's life is radically transformed in this one day. My favorite story. Favorite story.
That's a great story, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my story's good, but that story's doing good too. So I was just like,
and so we want to challenge you. What is your favorite story? Right?
Yeah.
So we want you to comment in the section below. Comment your favorite story. And actually, we want to challenge you to not just comment your favorite story, but to actually go and tell somebody else about that story this week.
Yes.
We're pretty much under quarantine right now, stuck in our homes. But tell somebody on Facebook Messenger or Instagram, or make a TikTok video. Whatever you got to do, tell someone about your favorite story. And then hopefully you can have an impact like the Gadarene demoniac in Mark chapter 5, where you share your story and lives are changed.
Yeah, so that's what we want you to do. But also, maybe you don't have a favorite story to share. Maybe you're I have never read the Bible, James or Michael, you guys are dumb. So this is what we want you to do. If that is you, we want you to read through Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, any of the Gospels. Any of the Gospels. And pick out one of your favorite stories that just resonates with you. One that you think, man, this just speaks to me. I really like this story. And when you do that, then you can put in the comment section your favorite story, and then you have that opportunity to share what your favorite story is as well. So,
Well, we love you guys. This is it for the very first episode.
That's right.
Love you lots.
Have a great week.